break down, and there was not a lot of confidence with him. So I think the longer that Dubnik's out, the more likely that Stalock is going to get a lot of the starts. I mean, at some point, Dubnik will go back into the net. Fans have to accept that. But if he struggles again, then all of a sudden you got to go with Stalock. I mean, I don't think there's any coincidence right now that this team is playing a lot better with Stalock in net. Subject to change, I got to think that Stalock's going to have an in to play a lot of games once Dubnik's back.
From Alec, if you were to bet on any Minnesota team to win it all, which one has the best odds right now?
That I'll let you answer.
I would say the Twins. They won 101 games last year. They probably are 2 or 3 arms short and maybe a little hitting maturity short. That's not a huge gap to bid. I don't think the Vikings are in position. The Wild isn't in position. The Wolves are still a long way away. I think that's pretty easy. From Nikolai, what would it take to have the Wild make a significant trade during the season? No-brainer win, or would fair value work?
It's hard for me to speculate, especially, just like all of you, we have to see how Bill Guerin proceeds. It's going to be new to me too. When you cover a GM, you get used to his tendencies, and with Chuck, I felt like I always knew when he was up to something. Same thing really last year with Paul Fenton, and with Billy, we haven't seen him make a trade yet. I mean, the trade that he made, the minor league trade during August, even though it says GM Billy Guerin announced, I mean, those trades were made by Chris O'Hearn and Tom Curvers. Same thing with the Eriksson Ek signing. I mean, Billy has not yet done that type of thing yet. So, I don't know. Everything can change so quick. A month ago, we thought this team was going to be blown up. Now, all of a sudden, they could be gearing for something in terms of making the playoffs. I mean, right now in the Western Conference, too, even if you sneak in, the only team I'd be concerned about if I was Minnesota was Colorado. I think everybody else is highly beatable this year, especially if you're getting goaltending. So who knows? We have to see where this team is next month in early February to determine the path that Billy Guerin's going to take. But this absolutely buys him time right now to try to get a little more opportunity to figure out exactly who these players are, because there are guys right now playing great that Billy would have traded for nothing about a month ago, which is why fans should always understand when they say, what's Billy waiting for? This is what Billy's waiting for. You can't just in the month of October say Donato's garbage, Fiala's garbage, Parise sucks, Suter, we got to get out of here, blah, 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 blah. You got to give a guy time. I mean, I'm telling you, Kevin Fiala that could have been traded for nothing a month ago. Now, what would fans do if Kevin Fiala was traded? They'd freak. So this is why you have to allow a new GM time to evaluate. The problem last year is that Fenton took the first 2-3 months to evaluate and then blew things up. And I think the last thing that Wild fans are going to want that to happen is for Billy Guerin to proceed on the same course and not get fair value in return. So you need to really understand what these players are capable of, but two, what the value should be for each player before you actually start to move them. And I think what happened last year is that Paul Fenton looked at guys like Granlund, Coyle, Niederreiter, and Zucker, and I'm including Zucker in that, and said, these guys stink. I want to get rid of them, and I'll take anything for them. Now, the Granlund from Fiala trade might wind up being an absolute home run here. It certainly looks like it's heading that way, and we'll see on the others.
From our friend Bill, looking ahead 2 summers, we got an expansion question. This is awesome.
And just by the way, real quick, another one is Eriksson Ek. Like, Eriksson Ek was available to anybody about a month ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know this for a fact. And right now, I mean, yes, he can't score for the life of him. This guy is turning into one heck of a player right now. And now I say this, we might see Barkov light him up like a Christmas tree tonight. But because remember last year, Barkov lit him up like a Christmas tree. But my point is that this is why a new GM's got to be patient.
Absolutely. From our friend Bill, looking ahead 2 summers to the Seattle expansion draft, that Zuccarello contract is really a lineup killer with his no movement clause. Are we looking at another buyout the year after buying out Rask?
They're not going to. I mean, the no move clause means he can't be bought out. So if I'm understanding the question, Zuccarello, they're not buying him out. So you're right. Unless somebody's willing to waive their no move to allow another player to be protected, which can happen. Right now they're gonna lose a player that they probably don't want to.
A few more Twitter questions, then we're going to wrap up. Let Michael get to the rink. Reminder, December 11th, December 30th, 7 p.m. We'll be live at Tin Shed in Savage. Check them out at tinshedmn.com. They have coupons. They have all kinds of deals. They have lots of big screen TVs. We have a great time at our shows. We'd love to see you out there, and we can introduce you to some Grey Duck vodka. Also, remember that we have a deal with Bite Squad. Promo code is TalkNorth. And once you've used that once to get your free delivery fee waived, go to bitesquad.com, see what kind of deals they have in your area, see what kind of restaurants they deliver from. So Russo Slacks has a GIF on here. It's a finger constantly pressing a red button.
Yeah, I know. It's the most annoying.
Instabuy.
Yeah. I mean, could there be a more annoying GIF? It's like giving me seizures when I stare at it every time it crosses my screen. And
the question attached to the GIF is, how was your Black Friday, Michael? Did you buy any candles, anything?
No, I didn't buy anything. Nothing. The only thing I did was bought 25 subscriptions of The Athletic last night for contest winners, which was so. Yeah, so I did this thing. I don't know what came across me is that I did this thing where it was Cyber Monday. I was in a festive mood. I don't know why I was in a good mood. So I'm like, contest, 10 people tell me why you deserve an Athletic subscription. I got like 350 replies. And of course I'm going through it and people are, giving me reasons why they really want to read The Athletic. Some of them were, some of them were heartfelt too. And I'm just like, well, I can't cut this to 10. I felt bad enough cutting it to 25. I wanted to pick 50 or 100 of them, but I bought 25 subscriptions. So right now I think my online spending has been maxed for the month because it was an expensive night for me. It was, and you know what's funny? So on the iPhone now, for some reason, every time I use my American Express, I get an advisory. I don't know what changed, but I get like a notification.
I get them on my iPad. I don't want them, but they show up there.
But it's so funny. Like right now, my notifications on my Amex is The Athletic, The Athletic, The Athletic, The Athletic, The Athletic. It's unbelievable. I bought so far 24, and I'm still waiting for like 2 others to reply. So. And I need to have them reply because I need to also send the email addresses into work because I sort of need my credit card taken off there. I'm going to be charged $60 every year when it's renewed. So anyway,
all right, let's buzz through a few more. From Matt Ristolin, your thoughts on how Capo Kakkonen performed, and will he get another start this season?
Well, he's starting tonight, and he was great in New Jersey. He was really good. He looked poised to me. Plays the puck really well, and we'll see tonight. He's got a hard task. This Florida team's on a 9-game homestand right now. Barkov is absolutely on fire. I was watching him in the locker room today. This is one chiseled guy. I mean, you could see why this guy is absolutely freaking unbelievable. And just watching him in the locker room today, he's a pro. Chatting with him. I was talking to a bunch of people in the locker room a lot. It was cool being in that Panthers locker room. It looked so different from when I covered him today. But Ed Jovanovski does TV for them now. Billy Lindsay does TV for them now. So I got to, chat it up with them, and they were telling me they were just singing the praises of Barkov. And another guy that I met for the first time tonight, this morning, was Jeff Chikrin, Jacob Chikrin's dad. Jacob Chikrin is a stud player for the Arizona Coyotes. He's going to be absolutely awesome. He hails from Boca Raton, Florida, my hometown. And Jeff Chikrin, it was just really neat because I had never met Jeff Chikrin before, and he was telling me how when I was covering the Panthers, he used to read me every day and listen to me on WQAM, and now he's doing TV for the Florida Panthers. And this is like the most mild-mannered human being you'd ever met. And then I just Googled him because I wanted to refresh myself on his career. And this guy was a brute. I mean, Hershey Bears, 239 penalty minutes. Kingston Canadians, 206 penalty minutes. Philadelphia Flyers, 245, 248, 105 penalty minutes. His last year with the Cape Breton Oilers, 111 penalty minutes. So this guy was a bruiser, and you would not believe just how nice of a guy he was. But also just singing the praises of just everything that's going on right now with Quenneville, with a lot of these young guys on the, or it's hard to say. I mean, you look at Huberdeau, Ekblad, Barkov. I mean, they've been in Florida for a long, long time right now, and they're just getting better and better. These players.
I knew this was going to be a Florida reference show and an expansion draft show. I did not expect this many Florida references, but my clicker is worn out. Congratulations. Couple more.
Last night we go to dinner. It's LaPanta, me, Nanny, and Minervini. And an Italian restaurant, this really incredible Italian restaurant called Sardelli's, who I'd never been to. It's like a house on Hollywood Beach. And Gorg and Myers came to ruin it, but we had the last names ending in a vowel, A-E-I and O. We just needed a U. It was just the perfect, like the stereotypical 4 Italians at an Italian restaurant. But then Gorg and Myers showed up. But Craig Minervini, my best buddy, is the Panthers announcer, and and Marlins, and we were just talking old stories. And the one that still, every time I come here, that just kind of warms my heart is the way that Craig Minervini and I met. You know, Craig, who is, if you know Craig, he used to be with me and Gene Oakland when he was like his understudy with the WWF years ago in the late 80s. And he was, his stage name was Craig DeGeorge. So you might know him from that. But anyway, so I watched him growing up. He's only a little older than me, but I go to the West Palm Beach Blaze games first time. Bill Nyrup, who's from Edina, Minnesota, is the coach of the team, the GM of that team, the owner of the team, and the commissioner of this 4-team league. And Minervini was the play-by-play guy, and I was the beat writer for the Sun Sentinel in the early 90s. And that's how I met him. And we just started telling old Bill Nyrup stories last night. And every time I think about Bill Nyrup, who died way too soon in his young 40s, his dad was CEO of Northwest Airlines. It just warms my heart because honestly, I don't think I'm a hockey writer today if Bill Nyrup doesn't teach me the game. He just was so impressed that this teenager who was not getting paid at the time would go up and write these stories because he just loved covering this minor league hockey team for his newspaper. And he knew I wasn't getting paid. So he'd teach me systems. He'd teach me about just everything. I mean, from freaking icings and offsides to just everything about the sport. And so it was just cool last night, just having this conversation with Minervini about Bill Nyrup, who both he and I respected, but also just the fact that I moved to Minnesota in 2005 in the place where Bill Nyrup grew up, played his high school hockey, all that stuff before he went to Notre Dame, played for the North Stars, won cups with the Canadians. And then, and here I am, a hockey writer in Minnesota in the place that unfortunately I never got to see Bill, but because of the guy that really took me under his wing as a young kid.
That's great stuff. I'm glad we got to it. I got to go catch a flight, so we're going to do 1 or 2 more Twitter questions, then we're going to get rolling here from Chris LeBreche. When did you realize sports writing would be your profession? Were there other career paths for either of you in your 20s or 30s? You know what? That's a better live show question because that's a more of a storytelling long answer. Yeah. Let's save that for.
I want to see you miss your plane, though.
Say it again.
I want to see you miss your plane by you just freaking out in your hotel room because I won't shut up because that would be a long answer.
This has happened before. How about this one from Kyle? Who do you think is the best skater on the team? Michael's going to answer this one. Then we're going to wrap. I'm going to roll. Yeah. We will see you December 11th at 7 o'clock at Tin Shed in Savage, tinshedmn.com. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to Brandon. Follow us on Twitter at TalkNorthPod. Last Twitter question. I'm sorry we didn't get to more Twitter questions. We promise to get to more as we go forward here. From Kyle, who do you think is the best skater on the team? To me, it's got to be Brodin or Zucker.
I would say Fiala going forward, like straight line, fast. I'd put Fiala over everybody on the Wild. Maybe Dumba, straight line. In terms of footwork, speed, skating backwards, turning on a dime, I'd go Brodin. So.
Good.
For the record, I wanted to do a much longer podcast, but Jim's ruining it because he decided to fly home somehow in the afternoon after a Monday night game.
Michael, I just think that 45 minutes of nothing but Florida stories is enough for one day.
I have so many more to tell, too.
All right, we'll save them for December 11th at Tin Shed. I'll ask about Florida, then I can take a walk, and you can tell all your Florida stories at once.
Have a safe flight.
Thanks, man. See ya.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in